I think right now my biggest wish list for The Sims 4 is running my own hotel and building my own apartments. I just so badly want to make actually functional multi-family houses in this game. Over the years, I have built so many fake apartment buildings and fake townhouses, and you can do that. Like, you can just build a giant lot that looks like it's got 4 houses on it, but really just one family lives there. But I so badly want it to function for real. This is like one of my deepest desires in The Sims 4. I feel like that ship has probably sailed at this point. Like, I doubt we'll ever get another apartment style pack, but for now we can just keep on pretending. So I think today I want to try to build a townhouse. There's different names for these in different places. I just mean like an attached house. It shares a wall, a duplex. You know what? Let's just start building it and you'll see what I mean by this. So like I had mentioned earlier, you can build this sort of thing in The Sims. I've done it loads. You just have to use a little bit of imagination when you're playing in a house like this. So what I've done here is make 2 houses that are connected, but I only furnished one of them. When I play in this kind of thing, I use it for a couple different reasons. Either one, I want to pretend that it's an apartment, so I'll just live in part of it and leave the rest of it empty. Or maybe I've got like a household that I want to pretend is more than one household, so I want to have 2 separate spaces. So for example, maybe I want to have my sim and her sister live on this same lot, but each of them have their own house. So I could just pretend that one lives on the left, maybe the other one and their kid live on the right side, and I just sort of lock doors and keep them in their separate places. When you say it like that, it sounds like they're trapped there. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like lock the doors so they only use their side of the house autonomously. And if you've got things like the university pack and stuff, you can kind of use the roommate system to have Sims that live on the other side with the doors locked and everything. But I find that that system doesn't work that well, so I don't usually use the roommate thing. I more often use things like this when I want to have more than one Sim living on a lot with their own space. Usually it's for extended family stuff, so maybe I want to have grandma living here too, but she's got her own house. Except in reality, in the game, we're just all in the same household and it's all pretend. Now, before I get too far into this build, I must warn you that this is one of those trust the process kind of videos. This one was kind of weird as I was starting it. I understand. It looks really bad, okay? Just give me time, because it does come together in the end. Just right now, it looks really strange, okay? I don't know what I was doing. I'm not that good at building modern sort of houses, and so I had this vision in my head that I was really struggling to execute properly. So again, give me a second, I'll figure it out. Looking back on this is kind of funny because this part of the build is a mess, but I swear it does come together, okay? So I was trying to have these 2 houses that shared a wall, but were sort of different. I wanted them to be a similar style or similar vibe, but like kind of distinctly different shapes. So that's why I was trying to do the roof so differently and like trying to have them be so different on each side. I also wanted to have a cool basement space, like this open to the downstairs area. So we've got a hole in the floor in the front yard right now. That part is also kind of weird, but it is interesting because it makes the place kind of 3 stories, but it's got full windows to the exterior from the basement. Again, just trust the process, because right now that vision isn't so clear. Instead of an interesting 3-story basement window vibe, it just looks like a hole in the front yard. So give me time, we'll get there. I definitely struggled the most with the right side of the house. Like that one on the right was definitely a way bigger issue for me. And in my defense, and this is kind of dating this footage, but I built this on one of the last days of my charity fundraiser in May, and I had just done a 24-hour stream. I left my Sims game unpaused and running for 24 hours straight. So I wasn't like actively speaking on the whole stream, but I was awake and babysitting my computer for the whole stream. So when I like got offline and then went live again later in the afternoon, I hadn't really slept. So when I built this, I was exhausted, which I think gives me an excuse for it being a little bit weird, right? It's not weird completely, it's just the beginning is weird. Now that I've painted it, you're kind of getting more of an idea of what it's gonna look like though. Like you can see how I want to have the wood with the gray accents. And I had seen this random picture of a house kind of like this online, but the house in real life looked nothing like this in the end. It was sort of just the shape and the basement that I took inspiration from with that one, but in reality, the style is not even remotely similar. Also, this was not planned, but I'm kind of in a bit of a Barbie era right now. You'll see that the interior of this house is pink, but not like Barbie pink, like not pink pink. It's a subtle pink, like a mature pink. you know, a pink and gray kind of vibe on the inside. You'll see, it's cool. I guess I didn't really think that part through when I decided to post this and a Barbie house in the same weekend, but you know what, that's fine. So when I do these speed builds, sometimes it kind of becomes a little bit podcasty as I'm just sitting here talking at you while the build plays. So I swear I will get back to the build, but I also just got back from VidCon, so I've got a couple stories I need to share. So to give you a rundown, I got to VidCon on Thursday, same day that the horse trailer came out. So I left my house at like 4 a.m., go to the airport, fly 5 hours to California, get to my hotel, and immediately film a reaction video. And then right after I got that uploaded, I had a meet and greet at VidCon. So that day, I was really anxious. I was really stressed about the meet and greet being the same day that I flew to VidCon, because they booked my flights, and like I didn't know what the schedule was until very close to the event, so it kind of scared me. I was just really anxious about my flight getting delayed or something and then missing my own meet and greet. Like I was really nervous about that happening. It didn't happen, so it was fine. But like the combination of the early flight and the trailer and it was a stressful day. It went really well though. It was super fun. Everything was good. And then the next day I had a panel at VidCon, okay? And you see, when I agreed to do this panel, I did not know that it was gonna be on the main stage of VidCon. So in the convention center, they have like kind of a side room that has a bunch of small stages for panels, and they maybe had like 4 going on at once. And then they had a main stage that was kind of in the main hall that was way bigger, and that is where my panel was. And I was quite nervous about that because I'm not really a public speaker, okay? I sit here, I talk to myself, I make my little videos. I've done a handful of panels in conventions and stuff in the past, but nothing really to this scale. The panel was called I Dream of Streaming, and it was a bunch of like streamer men that have a lot bigger channels than me as well, which isn't a bad thing, but I kind of felt a little bit out of place because I was the only girl and like my channel was smaller. My channel isn't even small, but you know what I mean. Like Dream was on this panel, okay? Which in hindsight makes sense because it was literally called I Dream of Streaming, but I didn't know that he was on it until like very close to the event. Okay, so we're doing the panel. I'm gonna set the scene here. There's quite a big audience that has arrived for this panel, and it's kind of like a concert in that they have a stage, but in front of the stage there is a fence. So there's like 2 barriers between the audience and the stage. During the panel, we're talking, we're answering questions, and all of a sudden, this guy in a shark costume gets up and starts walking towards the stage. At first I thought maybe he's leaving, like he's getting up and walking away, but no, he walks all the way up to the fence, okay? He gets to the fence and he starts yelling at us. I couldn't really understand what he was saying because it was quite loud in there, so there was a lot of like noise happening from the panel, but also from like the rest of the convention hall, as you can imagine. But then he starts to climb the fence and get over the fence. And then he climbs onto the stage, and now he's on the stage with us. And at this point, I was really freaked out because I didn't know what he was gonna do. Like, this is the thing, right? Maybe he just wants attention, but also what if he wanted to hurt somebody? Like, I didn't know what his intentions were. So it was kind of scary, as you can probably imagine. And then okay, I don't know if I should say this in my video because it's kind of like gross, but he said some things that led me to believe that he was potentially going to like expose himself on the stage, right? And then he started doing the worm on the stage. All of this before security came up, picked him up, and carried him off the stage while he was like flailing like a fish, which actually in hindsight is kind of funny because he was dressed as a fish. The guy was in a shark costume. Anyway, what's weird about this is VidCon security didn't do anything. The people that got him off the stage was actually Dream's private security. And this all happened in the last like 5 minutes of the panel. So like, we all kind of just kept going afterward, which I think is the best thing to do because you don't want to give him attention because he did that for attention. So we kind of just kept going as normal. So it was just like, okay, next question then, I guess. And it was so weird. So in hindsight, this is kind of funny. Like, nothing bad happened. Everybody was safe, and it makes for a kind of good story. But at the time, I was so freaked out because I didn't know what he wanted. Like, when he was coming up to and then climbing the fence, I didn't know what he was saying or what he was gonna do. So I really thought he was gonna try to hurt somebody. And I don't think that's an unreasonable fear to like have that assumption. And when I watched the video back, it happened really fast. Like, it wasn't that long of time that he was on the stage, but as it was happening, it felt like he was up there for ages, you know? So anyway, it was just kind of scary. I also don't really know how he managed to get up to and then on the stage and then perform on the stage. Like, where was the VidCon security? I would have assumed there would be security like at the front of the stage, but I don't know. I don't know. So that is the story of my first big panel. I've done smaller panels before. But like most recently, the panels that I've done, like last year I did one at South by Southwest for charities. Like I did a panel about charity streaming where the audience was all charities that wanted to get into fundraising online. So like that's kind of the history of panels that I have. I've not done a lot of panels like this at VidCon, so it was a very new experience for me, but it was fun. I had a good time at VidCon. I liked meeting a lot of you. I went to VidCon before in 2017 and 2018, but that was a long time ago, and I also wasn't a featured creator or anything, so this was kind of a first for me. I also went to Disneyland after VidCon because it's in Anaheim. So Disneyland is like walking distance from the convention center. And when I was there, I went like as soon as the park opened because I was awake so early. I was getting up at like 5 a.m. every day because I was trying to be on Eastern time still, so it was great. I was awake very early, so I went as soon as the park opened. And there's this place in Disneyland that sells beignets that everybody just like raves about and talks about being so good. So me and Dan rode some rides, walked onto everything because there was nobody in the park, and then went over to get some beignets at this place everybody talks about. And it's kind of like 2 stories basically, and there's a balcony above it. And when I walked up, I noticed there was a bunch of cameras and lights on the balcony, but I thought, oh, maybe somebody's gonna like have a proposal, they're taking photos. I kind of assumed that was happening. And then as we're sitting there underneath the balcony in the seats eating, these girls nearby, and by the way, there's like nobody there. It's like us and one other table that's being sat at. The girls nearby start yelling things like, oh my God, I love you. So I assumed it was like Mickey Mouse or something up there, you know, because it's Disney. Well, then the girls scream, it's Owen Wilson. Like Owen Wilson who plays Lightning McQueen. So me and Dan get up to go and look. Owen Wilson is like standing over the balcony waving to people. And then Jamie Lee Curtis comes out and also stands there waving to people. So they were both there because they were filming promo for the new Haunted Mansion movie. And they just like appeared above our heads, and nobody else was around yet because nobody else had seen them because we just happened to be there when they got there. So that was actually really cool. We were at Disney for like 45 minutes when this happened. We had ridden like 3 rides and seen 2 celebrities in less than an hour of being there. I posted some pictures on Instagram if you want to see them. You can see Jamie from the balcony if you want. My name is just lilsimsie on Instagram. But anyway, back to the build for a second because I talked about nothing for so long. We are finally actually furnishing the inside of this house. So the floor plan of stuff like this is always kind of a struggle because it's sort of a weird shape. I had to manage to fit in the staircase for the basement and the upstairs. I wanted to have like a dining room, kitchen, living space all in here. And I feel like the floor plan actually came together quite well by accident in this downstairs space. We have like a little dining nook by the staircase. There's a big living room and a huge TV. There's kind of a cute spot where the kitchen fit in perfectly. And the whole interior has this sort of dusty rose color scheme to it. I called it pink earlier. It's kind of a pinky purpley color. It's not really pink, like I said, it's more of a dusty pink, but using that as my inspiration, I feel like I found a lot of things that I didn't realize fit that style so well. Obviously, Dream Home Decorator has a bunch of swatches that are perfect for this, but there's some other things, even like that base game painting that we got in an update a while ago that I feel like fits really well. I never used that Jungle Adventure tile anymore, so it was kind of fun to use that again. There's a pink swatch on that big giant hanging plant from the plant kit. Even the new lights from Growing Together have a kind of pink swatch. So there was just a lot of fun things that I got to experiment with in here that I don't normally use. And also, I don't normally use basements, so just having a basement in general was kind of fun, especially because this basement has a balcony door to the outside. Once I get down there, I'll show you a little bit more. But because we have those big windows, the basements have doors into the downstairs. And it's kind of cool because I made like a huge downstairs in the basement. There's a grassy area that you can see from the top, and then there's like a covered area underneath. I don't know, it's a little bit weird. I don't know how realistic this would be, but it's cool to have on this lot at least, especially because it's kind of small. But I don't really know a thing about basements. I live in Florida. We don't have basements here, so I don't know about them. I also really had fun decorating the patio attached to this house. Because it's quite small and they don't have a lot of outdoor space, I like went all out with it. So they've got a hot tub, they've got like an outdoor bar and grill area, they've got some lounge chairs. I actually like really want to play in this house, to be honest. I had so much fun decorating it. My problem is I never actually play in the houses that I build because every time I'm playing The Sims, I always make a new house for The Sims. Because I build so much, I build way more houses than I could ever actually play in. So when I am playing, I always make something new, like custom for the Sims that I'm using. But that means I make these houses like this one that I just love but never actually end up using. Although I did leave the other side of this house unfurnished. So I guess if I wanted to play here, I could just decorate that one fresh for the new Sims, and that would work. It is unfurnished on the gallery, the other side, I mean, just the right side of the house. I left it that way for a couple reasons. Number one, when I play in houses like this, I don't like for both sides to be furnished. Unless I'm pretending to have two households that are really just all together in one. I prefer to have the other side unfurnished just because it's annoying for me when my Sims try to autonomously use the wrong kitchen. And even if you lock the doors and stuff, I don't want to have to pay bills for that other side of the house that I'm not using. And then it's like unnecessary furniture that's creating lag and stuff. So at the end of the day, I just prefer to leave the other side that I'm not using empty. And hey, this way, if you wanted to, you could get it off the gallery and furnish the other side yourselves, right? That's terrible. But if you wanted to, you could. I know a lot of people don't like building, but they like furnishing. So like doing exteriors is hard, but they like to decorate stuff. So if that's you, maybe you'll like this house. But anyway, I'm decorating the downstairs now, this basement area. And this is pretty cool because we have kind of a games room. I didn't want to put a bedroom in this part because this back half doesn't have any windows. So there's kind of a cool games room, ping pong table thing. There's a bathroom. And then in the front part where there is a window, I put a bedroom down there. This room probably wouldn't get that much natural light, but it does get some natural light, which is better than your average basement. It does look out into that basement courtyard I described earlier. I don't remember what bed I used in here, but I hope it isn't this base game one with the pink and gray swatches, because I don't like that bed. I guess we'll see. I know I complain about this like every single time, but oh my god, I so badly wish that we had more swatches on that cheap base game bed. It's such a normal bed. It's like the most bed looking bed you can find in the game, but we really don't have that many plain swatches. I need like 20 more swatches of just like plain solid color sheets. Why don't we have one that has like white wood and white sheets? Like, why isn't there just plain swatches of it? I like to have some patterns, but I think because that bed has been around for like 9 years, I don't really want the patterns anymore. I just want some plain ones because I've built so many starter homes and cheaper houses. I've used this bed in every color so many times. I just need some more variants. I need some more cheap bed variants in this game. The beds, the couches, and the counters I have that problem with because they're all such big focal point pieces. Once you've used them enough times, like I'm sick of it. The bed determines the whole room, so I just want to have more swatches. They did a swatch update a few years ago where they went back and added some more swatches to like base game stuff. They do the occasional one sometimes, like even just a couple weeks ago, we got the bookshelf swatch update, which sounds bigger than it is. Just that little tiny book item, they added like 4 more swatches to it. But them going back and adding swatches to base game things makes such a huge difference. Please, 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 please do beds next, please. Even just one bed. If you gave me like 5 more swatches even, I am lowering my request to make it more reasonable. Just 5, I would be so happy. 5 plain swatches, like a solid white, a solid gray. No, maybe like every color in the rainbow, plus white, gray, and black. So like a solid green, pink, orange, that too. I just need some plain colors, okay? And maybe not blue, because we have a lot of blue already. But anyway, I am almost done with the build now. We're putting some finishing touches and furnishing the last little bits of the rooms here. Upstairs, there's 2 more bedrooms. So in total, this house is 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. I pictured it as being like a primary bedroom, a kid's room shared by 2 children with the bunk beds, and then maybe a teen's room in the basement. But obviously, if you were playing in this, you could have anybody live anywhere. When I'm building, I like to imagine the kind of Sims that would live here, so that's what I was envisioning. And I'll show you, but I did the floor plan for next door as well. And the house on the right is a little bit smaller, so it's got less bedroom space in it. In fact, I think it only has space for 1 bedroom, but you could probably have like grandma live there or something. Now that I've finished the build, I want to jump into the game and show you a quick tour of the finished product. So on the gallery, it's called the Pigeon Place Duplex, and that is a very long story from a very, very silly stream joke. But I placed it here on this 30 by 20 lot in San Sequoia, and this is what the finished product looks like. So again, I'm glad that you trusted the process because I feel like it came together pretty well in the end. Oh no, I'm missing a wall. How does that always happen to me? I don't even know how I managed that, I'm sorry. Fixed, my bad. Okay, anyway, this is the finished product. So I decorated this house on the left here. I wanted to show you around a little bit. So when you first walk up to the house, you can see we have this giant hole in the ground, which goes into the basement basement. Ignore that. When you walk through the front door, we have this super cute living room area. I got a big TV. We have a custom console table. I did this by putting cabinets on the wall and then sizing down a table and putting it in it so it looks like it has legs. I've got a little dog bed and a bookshelf. I love this dining room. I really like this painting because I never noticed before, but when it's up against the pink, it almost looks like it's got some pinky tones to it. It's very, very gray and white, but I feel like this color in the background kind of leans pink against pink. So I put 3 of those there. I love this flower on the table. Back here, we have the super cute kitchen in the corner. Oh, and this is that book that got extra swatches recently, so there you go. But anyway, we have the kitchen. We've got a little like desk nook in the corner. Through this sliding glass door, I've got a patio space right here. It takes you down some stairs to a hot tub. We have some lounge chairs. There's a huge bar and grill area. And I put some pretty string lights around the back. Overall, the backyard space is quite small, but I feel like I fit a lot of stuff into it. Back inside, if you go downstairs, the staircase leads you into a little like games room area. You can't fit a lot in here because it wasn't that big, but I did put a ping pong table. We have some cute artwork. There is a bathroom downstairs because there isn't one on the main floor. And then we have kind of that cute teens room. I gave them a door into the patio, but I didn't furnish this basement area. I was originally planning on having only the right side have access to it, but I changed my mind and made it shared. So you have this like grass that you can see from upstairs, but then in the front there's a covered patio space. When you go back upstairs, all the way upstairs, we've got a tiny hallway and another bathroom up here. I really liked the color scheme in this bathroom, and I tried to put some like cute clutter and stuff in here as well. We do have one kids room up here. They have a shared bunk bed and their own private balcony. They are lucky enough to have a telescope, which can kill your Sims, so watch out. And then we also have this primary bedroom. Did my rug get deleted? Hold on. I swear to you, I had a rug in here. I'm gonna place this again, just to be sure. Yeah, I had a rug in here. That's so weird. Okay, well, this is the primary bedroom. And then the other side of the house is empty because I didn't furnish it, but I'll show you kind of what I was envisioning in here. So you have a front door kind of mirroring the other side. When you first walk in, I pictured that this area would be the living room. So like maybe a rug right here and a TV on this back wall. Then I thought that this little space right here might be the kitchen. Obviously you would place different furniture. I'm just kind of showing you my thoughts. And then I figured back here could be a nice big dining room. When you go upstairs, this is really, really tiny. It's kind of a weird floor plan because the staircase is right in the middle. I just didn't know where else to put it. So up here, I thought this could just be like a small office area. They've got a private balcony and then a bathroom. And then downstairs in the basement is the bedroom. So there's just one bedroom down here and then an ensuite bathroom. Obviously they have also this balcony space down here that's shared. This one is definitely a weirder shape, the upstairs especially, but I just don't know how else to split it up. And the basement bedroom isn't so bad because at least you have the windows and stuff. But that, my friends, is the entire house finished. I hope that you enjoyed this. I like to build this sort of thing. I know it's kind of random to have like this 2 houses, 1 lot concept. I lived in a townhouse for years, so I just love this kind of thing. I made a whole video a while back where I built an entire fake apartment building, so I can link that for you if you want to watch that. And if you liked this, I do a lot of building on my Twitch channel. My name is just lilsimsie on Twitch, so feel free to follow me over there. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. Oh, here's that apartment I was talking about, by the way. I made an entire apartment building in a video. I kind of want to do it again because that was so fun.